All right, I'm going to another Democrat protest. Pretty small turnout, I'm guessing. Let's see what they all have to say, huh? What's up, what's up? Definitely not as many people out here in the rain as there was the other day. But we're gonna... What's good, Anthony? Hey, another Democrat protest. We're just gonna talk to people, see what they have to say. Not very many people out here, though. Hey, thanks, Anthony. We got some people up here. Let's see what they all have to say. I gotta brighten my screen. There we go. All right, we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people over there. Like 3 people here. It's gonna be fun. How's everybody doing today? Gotta extend my thing a little bit here so I can read it. We got nobody down there. It's real small today. Excuse me, little car. All right, so what's good, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? Should we ask some people if they want to talk about their signs? If any of if that woman that assaulted me is here, this woman wants to take my picture, so I'm gonna stand behind this. There's a woman trying to take my picture, so I'm gonna stand beside this sign so she can't see me. She keeps trying to get me. She's not gonna 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 get me. She tried. She tried. What we got going on here? Yeah. This woman here, this woman's trying to film me, but I'm standing behind the I'll go across the street. She just asked me why I'm hiding. Stop lies, racism, and illegal detention, that woman says. That's funny. Look at this woman. Yeah, look at her. It's crazy. Immigrants make America exceptional. Burger King, Dairy Queen, USA's only, I don't know, science saves lives. Look at her. All right, I'll go across the street. Oh, there's a puddle. I'm gonna have to.
Are you with us?
No, hell no.
Okay.
No? You want to talk about your sign?
No.
No?
I don't talk to people.
You don't talk to people?
No.
You don't think constructive dialogue is a good way to heal the country's problems?
But I'm not spending any time talking to you.
Okay. Okay. You want to talk about your sign?
Talk about what?
Your sign?
How about confrontation?
The rule of law? Yeah.
Rule of law and not using American military against American civilians. Now, I'm not saying all civilians are American. Law enforcement should be up to law enforcement. Let them do their job.
Okay. Are you referencing the Marines coming in to protect federal property?
Yeah, but I saw where they grabbed a guy who was a veteran. I know a lot of vets are having a lot of problems right now.
Right.
You know, but I don't think active duty military should ever be against this. If they were just protecting federal property, that would be one thing. It would seem like they would have State Department or somebody who would have somebody
Right.
qualified to do that job.
So when Obama and Bush and even as far back as Reagan and Kennedy, they all suspended posse comitatus temporarily in order to be able to protect federal buildings and protect the border. Did you have a problem with that then? Or is it only because Trump is doing it?
No,
And Trump hasn't even suspended posse comitatus, you know.
No.
But he hasn't. But they did. They did. Did you have the problem with those?
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I mean, at least consistency in your beliefs is, you know.
Absolutely.
No. Were you a Democrat in the 90s?
Yep.
You were. Okay. So did you, so during the State of Union address by Bill Clinton, when he said we need to erect a fence and kick out all the criminal aliens, were you with that or against that?
Criminal aliens. Yeah.
Everybody that crosses the border without going through the port of entry is a criminal alien. Anybody that crosses the river, whether they're seeking asylum, there's a legal process to seek asylum.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that? Okay, and you have to go through the gate. That would be like, right here we got the boardwalk, right? And we want all the people.
He's recording.
That's fine.
I'm live.
He's
I'm.
an instigator.
I am not. I was very, very
You
respectful
are
at the
an
last.
instigator.
Permission to tape them?
I don't need it. It's in the public.
You know, whatever you're supposed to.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're in public. It doesn't matter. You're in public. That's my First Amendment right. Yeah. And I believe in the Constitution. I think him and I are having a constructive conversation. Do you agree? Or do you feel like I'm confronting you, or do you feel like we're having a conversation? A little of both. Okay, I do not mean to be confrontational whatsoever. I wanted to talk to you about your sign and have a constructive dialogue about it. What's that?
What do you like about it?
That he's trying to take our country back from the globalist agenda that's trying to, like George Soros and all these other countries that are trying to push the liberal world economic order, which is a real thing that has been talked about at the WEF and even at NATO.
Okay, whatever. What else?
I just feel like he's going to. So I've been a farmer my whole life, and I feel like there's some things that I even disagree on Trump with. I'm not a Trump sycophant, but I am a Trump voter. Okay, like a lot of the things that were said about him were false. And very fine people. They ran in the media. They ran in the media for years that Trump called neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Okay, do you remember that during Charlottesville? Okay, but do you know the rest of that quote? The rest of that quote is, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists. So even in this, it's absolutely true. Well, let's see. Let's go about the Covington kid. There was the kid from Covington Catholic High School wearing a MAGA hat, and he was face to face with that Native American banging the drum. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
No? Okay, well, so during that story, they said that, no, but during that story they said that this Catholic kid confronted this Native American named Nathan and said that he confronted him and was being racist towards him. But what really happened is Nathan approached him. And that kid, Nicholas Sandman, actually sued CNN for $25 million for spreading that lie about it. Well, I like the fact that he's getting the illegal immigrants out of this country. You know, I don't mind people that are here legally on H-2A visas or H-1B visas, even, you know, and me and Trump actually kind of disagree on that a little bit. But I support legal immigration and legal immigration processes, as do most legal immigrants. And those are the things that I like.
That all
Is there-
needs to be talked about.
Yeah. Is it
What about the guy that they sent to the prison in Central America?
in El Salvador, Abrigo Garcia?
What about that?
Well,
Why didn't they just bring him right back like they should have done?
Well, because I don't think they should have brought him right back. I feel like he had several deportation orders already, and he should have been deported prior.
Why did he have the deportation orders? What did he do?
Well, he was caught drug trafficking and human smuggling, and he was a wife beater as well.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear? It's absolutely true, and you can. All the court orders are publicly available. And I mean, I just don't think right or left anybody should support a wife beater. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that beating your wife is a bad thing?
This guy wasn't such a bad guy. I didn't hear
His wife got a restraining order on him on 2 separate occasions.
Well, that's not good.
Right. But I think we can agree that beating your wife is bad. Can we agree on that one?
No.
No? Beating your wife isn't bad? No. Okay. Well, this guy thinks you should be able to beat your wife.
I just don't want to agree with you on it.
You don't want to agree? So you're willing to say that beating your wife is okay just so you don't agree with a Trump supporter? You don't want to talk anymore? That's fine. I will go away. I appreciate this. Do either one of you have anything else you'd like to add? No? Okay. Well, thank you both for your time. Do you have anything you want to say? Do you have anything you want to say, ma'am? Okay. Apparently she don't. In your vids. Hope to keep the vids going. Well, thank you. We got. Do any of you want to talk about your signs?
No, I'm not into propaganda party of one. Thank you.
What, Kit, do you want to talk about the 8647 on your sign? Calling for the assassination?
You're all
Okay.
here about you, buddy. You're filming yourself.
I'm not filming myself, I'm filming you.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm out of propaganda party of one.
Okay.
Not interested.
All right. Well,
You're boring. I already heard you.
You did? Okay. Well, I am able to have very intelligent conversations if you're ever interested.
I'm not interested.
All right.
Whatever you consider intelligent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have a great day, ma'am. God bless you. Do any of you want to talk about your signs? Have conversations about your signs or what they mean?
Well, they're pretty obvious, I think.
Well, what,
Yeah, who are you?
my name's TJ.
And who are you for?
I'm just myself. I'm just out here exercising my First Amendment right, trying to have constructive dialogue with people.
That's for sure. That's something that we definitely need. And you're right.
I agree.
We're all concerned about this president who doesn't really want to support all of us, who only recognizes those who stand for what he believes in. And he targets anyone who says anything against him. I've never seen such a divisive guy in my life. And so corrupt, but obviously corrupt. I mean, he's not even trying to hide anything. He and his family are blatantly just making money off of the people. And what about compassion? Compassion. I've never seen cruelty the way this administration, the cruelty. There's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way. And people all over are against inefficiency and they're against fraud. But what they're doing is so cruel.
Are you referencing some of the stuff with like Doge and Elon Musk and cutting the fraud and the
all of that?
the extra spending?
Sure. And Trump's comments. His comments are so cruel, and it's like this guy has no empathy.
Give me an example.
Like his Oh, thank you. Yeah. His example of one example is what he said to Walsh about when this whole thing happened with the more violent targeting, right? And the two of them who got killed and two are also injured, and his remarks were callous at best.
And the politicians killed in Minnesota by that left-wing activist.
Yeah.
They were killed by a Democrat. That was against.
That isn't true.
Well, that woman, she voted.
That isn't true.
Listen, can I?
Oh my God.
She voted for that. She voted with the Republicans against giving illegal immigrants food and health benefits. And then she was killed immediately afterwards.
The whole list were Democrats. The whole list that she had
being targeted were
right.
Correct, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a Democrat targeting them. And in the gentleman's manifesto,
That's a conspiracy.
well, the gentleman's manifesto was released yesterday.
I don't want you to release anything that I said because I'm afraid
It's live on the internet right now. There's 112 people listening to you.
It means that you can twist anything that I say.
No, it's live, unedited. It's live and unedited.
Yeah, but it'll go on and then somebody will twist something that's being said. I'm sorry. If you don't get the facts right to begin with, I can't have a dialogue with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much just been me sitting here listening to you. I haven't even actually really said much to you.
You said some false facts.
Yeah, the fact that that guy was a Democrat is
He was appointed.
100%.
He was appointed and worked with Tim Walz.
He was appointed. He wasn't elected.
Oh, not elected, but he was appointed by Tim Walz. He had a very close relationship with Tim Walz.
He didn't.
And in his manifesto, he said that Tim Walz told him to kill Amy Klobuchar so he could take Amy Klobuchar's Senate seat. The guy's manifesto was released yesterday.
That's bullshit. Sorry.
That's not bullshit. It's absolutely the truth. Name my dude. We can. I can pull. I have another phone and I can pull up all the details right now.
I don't want you. Just name your source.
I can pull them up and I can pull up an article for you right now.
But I don't want to hear
You
it.
could probably pull up 20 that say the right thing. Your article doesn't mean diddly because if you can't. I'm not even going to speak to you anymore.
If you don't want to speak to me anymore, that's fine. I will.
This man is harassing.
I am not harassing. And
He's not.
I am not. Listen, she said I am not harassing. And I said that if you want me to go away, I will.
Go away.
Yeah, we do. Because
You do? Okay.
we don't
I absolutely will.
Yes.
I absolutely will. I'm being
Get the facts.
completely respectful out here.
Please, I believe you are. So I'm
Okay.
just saying.
I'm just trying to have a constructive dialogue.
You should let people know where you stand before they talk to you so they know.
I shouldn't have to do that. This is America, ma'am. This is my First Amendment right. But you guys have a great day and God bless you all. Pardon me, ma'am, please. Thank you. I earned my Social Security and Medicare benefits. I'm going to go over here and talk to the Christians here real quick. They aren't interested in the truth. They just have hate. I agree. I'm going to come over here out of the rain. And come over here and have a cigarette away from these people. Good evening, or good day. How are you? Good. I came down here to troll the Democrats a little bit. Tell them that I love them. Told them God bless them. You guys with the Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started getting into the Bible again, like I had a sordid childhood, but when I first started getting into the Bible again, I actually went to the Kingdom Hall and studied with the Jehovah's Witnesses for a while, and pardon? Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Yeah. I moved out here, and I have a nice little church. I go up to Allegheny Church upriver there. I run their church YouTube page, and I'm live on YouTube right now talking to people. This is my favorite transgender channel. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I don't know any transgender people that look this redneck, but I just came over here to smoke a cigarette real quick. Those people aren't interested in really having conversations with me. They're not interested in the truth. They're very angry. But thank you for your comment anyway, Auburn. I appreciate you. We got a bunch of people on the other side of the street that might be willing to talk to me. I can go over and speak with them. I don't know. They're the Democrats are out here protesting, and they got like their 86-47 signs, stuff like that. And I wanted to actually have intelligent conversation with them, and like they just don't believe or want to hear anything that I have to say. Sorry, I hope I didn't run you off. I was only here to have a cigarette, and then I was going to go back. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, well, you guys have a great day. God bless you both.
What's your name?
My name's TJ.
Okay, TJ.
Hey, you too. God bless you. Send them all back to Mexico. Yeah, well, the problem is all these people are like 65, 70-year-old white people from here. And I got 132... America's lost his damn mind. You know what? People here, people are crazy. People are crazy. They're so one side or the other, and it's just, I don't know. It's great. America, Mexico, yeah, right. Yeah, no, they. It's pretty insane. It's pretty insane what these people are like. They're like that last woman I was talking to. You. Hey, what's good, Reagan? That's good. I'm out here at the Democrat protest fucking with people. But I mean, not really fucking with them. I've been trying to have constructive dialogue, but none of them want to hear any of the facts that I'm trying to fucking spit at them. You know? Yeah. I just came over here to smoke a cigarette. I'm standing over here on the boardwalk. See, there's all the boats and stuff. It's rainy out here, so there ain't very many of them. But, you know. Yeah, I just came out here to check, see what they were doing, and yeah. Kind of fuck with them. Oh, nice! Something in my mustache? Yeah, it happens. It happens. It is a cool area. It is a cool area. You guys want to see? I'll flip the camera around. Here's the bay. This is Coos Bay. Those are all the Coast Guard ships. And then we got some sailboats here. And this is a restaurant that is floating on the bay. Like, it's completely floating, the whole thing. And they got like a little trap door inside of their restaurant where they pull live fish out. And then we got some more sailboats over there and stuff, the boardwalk. And then we got, this is just like a little picnic area. Another little area over there too. It's it's a cool town. It's like an old retirement town pretty much though. I mean, we got, I go eat in that restaurant. That restaurant has amazing seafood. My problem with most all of it's fried. I don't like everything No, it's not Alaska. This is the southern coast of Oregon. But yeah, no, I don't like everything to be battered and fried. You know, like with my seafood. Like I like to, you know, I like oyster. I love oysters. You know, and I don't like oyster burgers. You know what I'm saying? I like fresh crab meat. I don't like fried crab. Well, I mean, I do, but that's not my preference. But at least the rain has stopped. Oh, that's cool, Reagan. Hey, thanks, playlists. Food review, let's go. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't actually even bring any money with me to fucking eat in town today. I only brought a few bucks, grabbed a pack of cigarettes and a beer. Britt's at home with the kid. Yeah, she's at home with the kid. Yeah, let's see, we got these people here. Should I go over across the street and converse with those people, see what they got on their signs? That could be fun. Yeah, she's doing good. Thanks, Reagan. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Yeah, none of these people here want to have a conversation with me. Yeah, I should go across the street. Hey, thanks, Reagan. What's up, Tony? Go walk into oncoming traffic. Oh, well, that's not very nice, Murph. That's not very nice. Let's go see if anybody on the other side of the street wants to have a conversation. Thank you all for staying here and having this conversation with me. This is awesome. All right, here we go. I'm stepping this puddle here. Oh, that lady said I'm killing democracy. Well, you guys want to talk about your signs? Have a conversation about it?
No, thanks.
Okay. I did. I went across a crosswalk. Go take a walk on a... Okay. I'll go over here. We'll walk down here. See if anybody wants to talk. Do any of you care to talk about your signs?
I think mine speaks for itself.
Russia, Russia, Russia. True, true, true. Treason, treason, treason. Okay. Do you want to talk about the connection of Trump and Russia and the Alpha Bank connection that was uncovered?
I keep hearing that. What the heck is the alphabet?
Alpha Bank.
Alpha Bank.
Okay, Alpha Bank is a bank in Russia, and that when the whole premise for Trump has a connection in Russia was that Trump Tower and Trump Properties sent information to Alpha Bank, right, in Russia. But what it was is like, you know, when you get Hilton rewards or something like that, like in your email, that's what it was. But that's what they used to establish the connection with Russia. And then Hillary Clinton went and hired Christopher Steele and worked with Lisa Page and Bruce Orr and Nellie Orr through Fusion GPS, the marketing company in England, to connect Trump to Russia. And that's what it was. And that was what the whole thing was kind of about. And that's where the Alpha,
Well,
that's what Alpha Bank, well, I mean, that's where the Alpha Bank, that's where Alpha Bank was, and you know how it kind of started.
Bank explanation, but his history with Russia goes back decades.
Correct. Yeah, but yeah, Alpha Bank was the original connection with Russia and Trump.
We can't do anything about it being here, but if you guys gray rock him, if you don't want to talk to him, he'll eventually...
Yeah, I know. I've been telling every single person that I've talked to that if you do not want to talk to me, I will go away, and I even came up, and did I or did I not say, hey, would you like to talk about your signs?
Yes, you did.
And you said yes. So I've been very polite, just like I was last Saturday.
We're
It's
just
okay.
making sure people know that they can set their boundaries.
Absolutely,
If they
and
don't,
I let them know as well. I absolutely let them know as well.
No, I know, I'm a good girl.
Yeah.
And
We're all grown adults out here, and we can all decide which conversations to engage in. Would you like to talk about yours?
again, it's self-explanatory. You could substitute stop pretending for people who are innocent of understanding that racism is not patriotism. It's not anywhere in any of our founding documents, and it's not in case law recently.
Right.
It's not part of the Bill of Rights.
Right.
Also,
Well, do you believe every Trump supporter is racist?
that is that what it
No.
says?
I am asking you a follow-up question.
Well, let's put it this way. If you read this and it kind of rings something in your heart that tells you, oh, wait a minute, maybe racism isn't patriotic, get the poll rollers too, please.
Well, yeah, no, I don't believe that racism is patriotic at all. I think racism is terrible. I mean, my in-laws are people of color. My wife is Portuguese. You know, like,
Yeah, no, I got that all in my family. And in terms of immigration, I think that Trump's immigration policy is more based on racism and a false definition of not only masculinity, but patriotism, and a false reading of anything that has previously made the United States the country that it's always seeking to be better at being, which is not perfect, obviously, but it's certainly not the other extreme that we see now.
But you do feel that we should follow immigration laws?
I think we need to reform the whole immigration system so that, like a third world country, thugs aren't being sent out from the federal government to just disappear people with absolutely no due process, no information, and it's weaponizing the very people who are supposed to be protecting and or enforcing our laws, but they're doing it lawlessly.
Right, and do you feel over during the 4 years of the Biden administration that most of those people that crossed our border, sometimes up to 500,000 in one week, do you feel that was against our laws?
I think that it was excessive, and I think we need to really reform that. But I think even then, with the Biden administration, there was a vetting process.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't.
Well, then how did it happen?
They just opened the gates and said everybody that wants to come in. They even flew people directly from Mexico City.
What you're saying is ridiculous.
I don't think that
You
happened.
don't find what you just said ridiculous.
What's that? That
Where
the
did
border
you
was
hear
wide
that?
open?
They just said, everybody just come, just, do whatever you want to do, come, and there were this huge amount of people.
How many came over?
Really, seriously, a couple of the things you said about this is ridiculous. It's time
I haven't said much. I've mostly been letting you guys speak.
Well, you said a few things, and that, that's all it takes.
Thank you.
Well, also, we're a nation of immigrants,
Right,
except for the indigenous people,
right.
who we absolutely destroyed when we came over from Europe.
Do you believe that they also destroyed the black community, the natives? Because, we celebrated Juneteenth a few days ago, correct? Okay, and what?
Some of us did.
Okay, well, what what is Juneteenth supposed to represent? The day the Union troops got into Galveston, correct? To let those slaves there in Galveston know about the Emancipation Proclamation. Is that correct? Can we agree on that? And it happened June 19th,
I think
1865.
there's more to the celebration than just.
Okay, well, I mean, that is kind of the basis of it, though. Can we agree that that's the basis of it? Okay, and
Well,
so...
Trump posted that we should just all get back to work.
Yeah, well...
Which is
we
interesting when you're discussing slavery to begin with. And speaking of work, don't you think it's time that we start to acknowledge who feeds us, who picks in the fields, who
Right.
works at the meat packing
Well, ma'am,
plant, who kept us alive during COVID?
From a service
Isn't
job
it time
that no one wants.
we reform our immigration laws so that they can get visas easily, so that we can get our food and we can
Right,
get our meat,
and we do have the
and they can-
H-2A visa program, which allows agricultural
but
visas.
It's inadequate. It's inadequate. All of it's inadequate.
Well, do you think if...
And when are they going to start prosecuting the people that hire them?
Right, exactly. I agree. Anybody that hires illegal immigrants should 100% be prosecuted. I'll agree with that 100%.
I've actually vetted people for a business,
Right.
and there is a national program that you can use to do that. But it doesn't help when the person has false ID or there's all kinds of circumstances. It's very hard to do on top of it. But the bottom line is that we need to acknowledge who does the fucking work in this country.
Well,
It's time. It's time to acknowledge who's doing the hard work.
right. I went to college for agriculture. I have a bachelor's degree in commercial agriculture. I wanted to be a farmer my whole life. But do you know why? I do have a farm now, but do you know why I can't just go out and get a full-time farm job right now? Because the wages aren't living wages. I could go to McDonald's and make more. So why would I work extra hard on a farm when the wages are being driven down by all the immigrant
But then
workers?
why, when we try to raise the minimum wage, is all the blowback from people who call themselves conservatives? They're actually have extremist positions and they don't agree with it, because you would be one who would have benefited from increasing the minimum wage.
Well, I mean, and Americans still work the majority of the farm jobs. It's not migrants that have the majority of farm jobs. No, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
No, I don't. They hire people in, and they may own the land, but people are hired in to come, and they show up seasonally too. And the same thing happened during World War II. You remember the Bracero program? Well, you know what? It worked.
Yeah. What about
talking about history, and I don't want to go back and talk about race and the Civil War. I do not even want to discuss cherry picking out arguments that try to blame the victims for the system that we forced on them. You talk about human trafficking and the stance of today's groups who are against human trafficking. Slavery is the original human trafficking.
Okay, and I agree with that. And the UK was the first country in the world to eradicate slavery, followed by the United States. But there are more slaves in the world today than there were back during the height of the Atlantic slave trade. You know that, right?
There may indeed be, but
even in
also
China,
the Atlantic slave trade went on for years and years and years as one country picked it up in another. And also slavery has always been there. It goes all the way back to the Egyptians and earlier.
Right.
And I think it's a pernicious thing that can be dealt with instead of mitigated with arguments that don't really deal with the core issues of enslaving another human being and owning them like they're nothing, like they're your property.
And we agreed to end that.
The same thing happened to women, and we finally got the vote I mean, there's
Well,
such a
do you know which
horrible
amendment?
history.
Can you even tell me which amendment it was that gave women the right to vote?
14th.
19th. Yeah. But anyway, but it's
And that doesn't make
I know it doesn't, but I mean, I know. It
Because
just
I can go back home and I can get my copy of the Constitution.
Right.
I can go to my things that also, like the dictionary, which has a copy of the Constitution.
Right.
In almost every dictionary, if not the Declaration of Independence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can quote it right there and tell you what that is. You know, what was the 22nd Amendment? What was the 5th Amendment? What was the 9th Amendment? It's sort of a useless question.
Right. Everybody in the chat is saying that you're being very respectful and very kind, and I appreciate that, and so do they. So thank you.
I think we have so many problems that we, the people, means all of us, in order to form a more perfect union,
Right.
means we come together. We disagree. We come from all different backgrounds, but we're civil, and our purpose is service and helping for the common good of the people in the United States, and we can get there. You know, I don't care if you're red, blue, purple, green, or orange.
Right.
What I do care about is the inhumanity of this administration, the suffering, the pain, the hurt, the harm that it's causing. And it's permanent. You can't repair this. And it's very upsetting because we do have good guidelines in documents, case law, and we used to have good guidelines in Supreme Court decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't now. We don't have conservative opinions. We don't have opinions by some of the Supreme Court justices either that are actually based on fact. You know, and it isn't about personal gain, power, control, and money. And that seems to be the exact definition of what people were elected to do was the exact opposite of that. It wasn't, you don't serve the public for personal aggrandizement. You are there to serve your constituents, the people, the public, like public safety, the common good, public health. I mean, how many things have public on it? And there seems to be a misunderstanding of what public means. It is not us and them.
But we can agree that the public system has been abused substantially, and has been being drained. A lot of it by people that just arrived in our country, for people like you that pay taxes your whole life. A lot of those is going to
I have paid
illegal
taxes
immigrants.
my whole life. That's just fine and dandy.
Right.
But I do not agree
That the welfare system is being
is worth a basket of bananas.
Okay, well, I mean, the first people if you want to bring up replacement theory, that whole thing was the first people getting replaced are the African Americans, and the minorities are getting replaced by the newcomers. That's the argument.
Were the first ones who got replaced.
Well,
they were disenfranchised of their land, their religion, their way of life.
Right.
You know, and this stuff is just immature and useless. Is this problem solving? Are we solving problems?
No, but I do feel that you and me having this conversation does help to bridge a gap in our country. Because people that are on different sides of the aisle do not currently have the ability to communicate. And I've stood here respectfully and listened to everything you've had to say. I haven't interrupted you very often, too much, and I really appreciate that.
Well, that's our job, and it's always been there.
Right, but
as I grew up, I'm 70 now, and this is the first time that in history in the United States that people have just lost the ability to civilly debate and to cite evidence-based fact and truth.
Well, what I'm finding is a lot of people don't believe the evidence or the facts that I have to say. The facts that I have to say, people are ignoring those.
Well, there's social media, and if you talk about Fox News and the internet are not sources of news. They are what they purport to be, social.
Right.
And they promote by algorithms whatever you're looking at and whatever you're reading to send you more. And that's based on how you react, which is thinking with your primordial brainstem.
Right.
And we also know in neurobiology, and there have been studies, I believe John Hopkins had one, where repeatedly getting angry, getting upset, throwing hate on someone else, and not doing anything but venting hits the addictive part of your brain.
Right.
So that every time you do that, you're getting a neurobiological response that says, ooh, wake up call. And you also know from neurobiology that the more you do a behavior, the more entrenched you get in it. You're going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. So responding using only the primordial brain instead of what God gave us, which is your cerebral cortex, and being able
and get
to
a
say,
dopamine release.
give me a minute, or I don't know that answer, or wait, let me think about this, or I need to do research. I need to get 4 sources that are reliable that say the same thing. Then I know what I am getting is a fact. And it's not the fact that is bounced between Twitter sites and people who are on Facebook. They have completely damaged, I think, public communication. I can't stand social media.
I don't have any social media at all.
I don't either.
I don't have Facebook.
I saw
don't have
what it did to my daughter. Because she's a generation, obviously, more than a generation below us. And the kind of hate and insults and nonsense that was just flying around.
Can I make a comment about a statement that you made? You said when you go and you can find 4 different sources that say one thing, then you can know that it's a fact. Would you agree that during the Charlottesville riot, there were more than 4 sources that said Donald Trump called neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people? There were a lot of sources that said that, and even Joe Biden brought that up right before Kamala took over in the 2024 election. He said that Donald Trump called neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. But that's literally not a fact. But there were far more sources that were saying it for years and years and years. Because the actual quote is, there are very fine people on both sides, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists. They should be condemned totally. But yet, there were more than 4 sources, including the President of the United States, that stated that that was fact.
Okay, now, instead of cherry picking that one fact out, and I would flip to January 6th and all the good people that he has now pardoned, who are really treasonous because they went in and they tried to overthrow not only our electoral system.
An official hearing, that's what it was called, yeah.
Exactly. I don't think they're
Is that
heroes,
similar to the
and it was violent too.
Well, is that similar to the confrontation during the Kavanaugh hearings when all the Democrats sat outside and banged on the doors during an official hearing? Is that similar conduct?
All right, I'm not here I don't want to discuss Democrat and Republican anymore.
Okay.
I can cherry pick the average number of lies that came out of Trump's mouth daily, as documented by multiple news sources, and that was 2016 on. And like this, when he says that disappearing people because he has demonized them and doesn't give them due process and just disappears them like third world countries do, there's something extremely humanly wrong
Do you believe that due process is always like a jury trial and a whole thing, or do you believe that it can
Depends
be
if it's civil law or it's criminal law.
right? And we can agree that a judge can go in and just look at a paper and make their ruling without attorneys and stuff in there, and that is part of due process, and
Right.
it happens to Americans too,
and
correct?
And judges have
Okay.
been doing that forever and a day.
Right.
And they try to settle
So doesn't
cases
that mean?
before it goes to court, and they try to call
Right.
the parties in.
And doesn't
to
that mean
bargain ahead
Abrigo
of time,
Garcia
and
got
that's-
his due process though? Doesn't that mean, because his case went before an immigration judge, isn't that due process under the law?
That so far is, and it can depend on the judge's reasoning. And if the reasoning is wrong, another right besides due process is the right of appeal.
We have a comment from Sean Drew that says, how come they can enter the country without due process?
Who's they?
The illegal immigrants. There's a process to enter this country, and it's to go through a port of entry. That is the law. And to seek asylum at a port of entry.
Right, so change it. And instead of building a border wall, which is ineffective, and militarizing and weaponizing those who are due to enforce laws in a violent and nasty way, where Americans are getting pitted against people who are trying to get into the United States, who 10% of evidently are not criminals, there's got to be a better way. So I suggest that instead of demonizing, as my ancestors did, coming through as immigrants to the land of opportunity and plenty, and waiting and establishing themselves as U.S. citizens, there's got to be a way like that to allow people on the southern borders to come through.
I agree,
The
donut shop.
system is corrupt in those ways. It needs to be fixed, and it is not the immigrants who are doing this. It's us.
That are demonizing people?
We are not doing what we should do to solve the problem.
Well, I mean, I think...
And the problem still is not solved.
Do you think there is a such thing as toxic compassion? Being too compassionate to the point where it hurts yourself and the people around you?
By the definition of this president, toxic compassion is a weapon that he uses against anybody who doesn't agree with him, his administration, or his policies. It's just a catchword, and I don't think that applies, and I don't think that it's being used properly. To identify being a man is being angry, upset, having bigger things, doing things faster, and going ahead and taking over and controlling everything, driving your big truck around because you are a man. I think that's a false identity of masculinity, and I think it is killing the Generation Z males.
Well, most of them aren't very manly, though, at all. I mean, well, there's like 20% of Gen Z identifies as transgender now. That's crazy, and it's only happening in liberal cities. It's not happening in conservative parts of the country.
I don't want to use all of these catchwords, like libtards.
And I didn't use that word.
No. You said liberal.
Liberal, yeah.
Catchwords that we don't even necessarily agree on the definition of. It's like saying that I'm a bleeding heart liberal would have been the translation.
Well, I mean, liberal does have a very specific definition.
Isn't there a point where your empathy is toxic? That is the exact same thing as labeling you as a weak libtard. all these names are useless. We get nowhere with them. As a matter of fact, we just go backwards as a nation. And we need to start working on solving problems and making things better, because there are so many problems.
I agree, Annie. I appreciate you. And Happy and Frank, thank you all. It's 178 people in here right now listening to our conversation. We were up at 350 at one point. But yeah, I want to go and...
You know, if somebody thinks that because I empathize, that doesn't mean that I am weak or a libtard or stupid. I am a human being.
Right, and I haven't called you any of those names, correct? I've been very respectful. Can we agree I've been very respectful?
No, not you.
Okay.
This is to the audience.
Okay.
This isn't personal.
Okay.
Don't take it personally. But, you know, I was brought up as a Methodist, and the kind of upbringing I had was service, community.
Do you still believe in God and Jesus Christ as our Savior?
I believe in an immanent power that created the beauty and the awesomeness of this brief existence that I have on earth. There is something there. Now, I don't want to call it Allah. I don't want to call it, you know, I don't want to call it Taoism, Confucianism. I don't want to call it Hinduism. I won't even call it Judaism.
So
or
that's a no. You don't believe in Jesus. That's what you're getting at.
It's dogma. No.
Okay.
I think like
that's what I was asking.
Can I finish?
Yes.
I think if you read anything that has to do with even conservative and Orthodox Jewish theology, Jesus was a prophet. He's treated as a prophet.
But he was divine.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, and I'm very sorry about that.
Well, that's fine too. You know, see, as we're standing here, that is fine too. But no one has the right in the United States to force their religious beliefs on someone else. There is a separation of church and state. It's even in the Constitution.
Right.
First Amendment. The Founding Fathers wanted that. Why? Because of all of the religious issues in Europe and in England.
And they wanted to be able to they wanted to be able to worship Jesus without being persecuted.
Right.
That's what they want. I mean, even the constitutions of the original colonies were very steeped in biblical tradition, and all of our laws and rules and moralities in this country were written off of like Judeo-Christian values from the Bible. Right?
No.
Yes.
It was from the Romans and the Greeks in the form of the government.
Okay, and the Romans and
historically.
Right, and the Romans and the Greeks. Woo! But I mean, it was a lot.
Again.
I think America's on the right path right now. I do. Is there anything else? We've been talking for quite a while. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the camera before I go?
I think anytime that a cause that you believe in, again, belief systems, you have all the freedom in the world to do that. Yes. But when you force it into laws and you are causing hurt, again, harm, suffering to other humans, there's something not okay about that. And Jesus never said...
you don't believe in Jesus. I don't want you to bring Jesus to bring it. If you don't believe in Jesus and his divinity, I don't want you to bring Jesus into this argument.
In the Bible...
You don't believe the Bible either.
I didn't say that.
Well, you said you don't believe in Jesus, and Jesus' divinity is in the Bible.
Jesus isn't the only thing in the Bible. What happened to the Old Testament?
The Old Testament is there too.
What happened to the words of Paul?
The words of Paul are in Romans
and Corinthians.
Right, and those are in the New Testament.
Well, then that depends on how many Bibles there are. Do you know there are over 22 different versions of the Bible?
Right. Different
Again,
translations.
You don't
yeah.
have the same belief system even as a Christian that
Right.
others do.
Uh,
And causing harm and hurt. Is that the kingdom? I thought that judgment and the kingdom of heaven was above us.
You're stepping closer and closer. I'm about to fall off the curb here. Can we step? Can we take a few steps back? You keep stepping closer
so you
to me.
don't like what I'm saying?
No. Look where I am on the curb. I'm about to step in this puddle. You kept
fine.
coming closer to me. Well, I mean, you get any closer, I'm gonna have to step back. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have you on the camera.
That's fine.
No, it's not fine with me. I don't want to be in the street.
No, I'm saying that's fine. What you're saying is fine.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to add before I head on down the road?
No, I just hope that somebody somewhere sees the light.
Yeah. I appreciate you. And what was your name? Or do you not want to share it? No? Okay, that's fine. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me.
For the same reason, I'm sorry, but for the same reason I'm not on social media.
Okay. That's fine. I asked. It's good to have positive conversations. I wasn't so lucky last Saturday when I was assaulted and threatened and surrounded by people with guns when I was here on Saturday. So, I know, but I just want to make sure
I wasn't here. I was at my daughter's wedding.
Oh, well, congratulations to your daughter. All right, ma'am. Well, you have yourself a great day.
And hang in there.
Hey, thank you. Do either one of you want to talk about your sign?
No.
Nope. Okay. I'm moving on. Do you guys want to have a conversation about your sign? Sure? All right. It says, hatred never made America great. I can agree with that. Hatred's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that?
America was never made greater by people hating other groups. We've always been made greater by getting along, by recognizing other people.
Okay.
That's that.
Who do you think is being hated on the most right now in our country?
Well, which group has the most domestic terrorists? Easy answer, actually.
I'd say the left. I mean, with Antifa, but the
there are
excuse
no
is
left people in jail for domestic terrorism. There are several people from the Republican Party in jail for domestic terrorism.
Are you sure that's absolutely
the
true?
Minnesota guy who shot the two representatives.
Right, and he wasn't a Republican, though.
Yes, he was. He's a registered Republican.
Okay, and that information came from his best friend / roommate, correct? But this is a married man with children. How many married men with children have best friend roommates? Not very damn many.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, I mean, the source of the information, it hasn't been verified, saying that he was a registered Republican.
You can look up voter affiliation. That's not private data.
Right. And that hasn't been released yet either.
It doesn't have to be released. It's public.
Well, yes, I have. Yeah, I did a lot of research before I came down here this morning. Yeah, it wasn't. What about the manifesto being released by that guy saying that Governor Tim Walz told him to assassinate Amy Klobuchar so he could have her Senate seat in 2028? You don't believe that that's true?
Where'd you hear that?
His manifesto was released last night. The shooter in Minnesota that killed that dressed as a police officer and killed those Democrat senators.
About that, man.
Huh?
Where'd you get that?
I have another phone. I can pull it up right now for you if you want me to.
You can, but
you wouldn't believe the source, though, right? Is that?
It depends on the source, right?
Okay.
Not all information is good information.
Right, and I can agree with that. The lady that I was speaking with, the woman I was speaking with down there said if she can go to 4 different sources and it says the same thing, then she believes that it's true.
I don't think that's true either.
Right, exactly. Good. Thank you very much.
Because Steve Bannon floods the right with misinformation. Several other sources pick it up, it's still not true.
Right. It's a whole circle thing. One Republican outlet will report something, and then the other Republican outlets will grab on it, and they'll all repeat it. So it'll be repeated a bunch of times. And the Democrats do the same thing. Can we agree with
Can I
that?
ask you the question?
Yes, sir.
Do you think it's cool that like police stop Americans and ask for proof of citizenship?
It depends on the
'Cause that's
situation.
kind of a Fourth Amendment issue.
Right. Well, some states are stop and ID states, and that is allowed. Some are not. You know, and that's really what it boils down to: a stop and ID state.
The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution.
Right.
Is
securing your
not
papers, person, and
something a
effects.
state can undo.
Right. Well, then
Right,
that means it needs to go to the Supreme Court. But
No.
Terry v. Ohio
No
was
state
upheld by the
can make
Supreme
a
Court.
law to overturn federal law.
Right. I agree with that.
Okay, so no state can make a law saying that we aren't that due process will be taken away from us. No state can make a law saying that we can't have weapons.
Right.
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 So no state can make a law saying that we as citizens need to prove our citizenship.
Right.
Right. We can live in America and not have to walk around and prove our citizenship like the Nazis did.
Yeah.
And that's just like our Second Amendment. You believe in the Second Amendment, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, then you should believe in the Fourth Amendment. Do you
I
believe
do.
in the First Amendment?
Absolutely. That's why I'm out here.
Then yeah, that's we should believe in all of the amendments, all of the articles of the Constitution, or none of them mean anything. And Article 1 of the Constitution says that Congress shall set the budget, not the president.
Right.
Congress makes the budget. Congress decides where the money goes. President's making up his own shit. He can't do that.
Cyber truck.
So that's Article 1 of the Constitution. The president just threw out the window. Article 2, he's way overstepping his bounds, doing way more than he should. He threw that one out the window. Article 3, he's ignoring the judicial branch. The judicial says he can't do that, he should do that, he needs to rehire these people. He ignores them. He's not doing it. He's ignored Article 3 of the Constitution.
So were the people fired, or did they take a leave of absence? Or did they take the severance package and leave, or did he fire them? He gave them the option, right?
He did both.
Well, the people that left, they all got a severance
all of the
package.
inspectors generals he fired, that is inviting corruption into the government. He fired the very people that prevented waste, fraud, and abuse. And then he hired Elon Musk, who spent more money than he canceled. Elon Musk is now responsible for killing 200,000 kids and 100,000 adults.
That's a pretty bold claim there.
I'm not the one making that.
Well, I don't know if that's something I would repeat. That's pretty defamatory, I'd say, to say he killed people.
He is responsible for the deaths. I didn't say he is responsible for the deaths.
How is he responsible for the deaths?
Because he nixed USAID. He said they spent the weekend putting it into the wood chipper.
You know, it's not called USAID, right? It's
United States
Association for International Development.
Not an association.
But it's not aid. It's when you say USAID, it makes it sound like we're giving more money to poor. It is. Well, I mean, it's gone now, but
it shouldn't be. It was created by Congress.
Agency for International Development. That's what it is. Yeah.
The U.S. Agency for International Aid was created by Congress. The president had no right to disband it. That was illegal. That was against Article 1 of the Constitution.
And do you think that all the money that we were sending to these foreign countries for LGBTQ and all that stuff, we should have done that?
We were not sending money to foreign countries. We were sending money to American farmers. The U.S. government was buying corn from American farmers, and we were shipping corn overseas.
Correct.
We were shipping peanut butter overseas.
Correct.
We were making peanut butter here. The U.S. government was paying for it, and we were shipping food overseas. So, no, we weren't sending money overseas. We were sending money to American farmers. And Elon Musk just put them out of a job.
Right, I've been a farmer my whole life. I actually went to school for agriculture even.
Cool. Thanks,
I didn't need the degree, but I thought it was going to help me run a farm, and I could have just stayed working, you know, instead of wasting my time and my money going to college, which I think is an absolute scam. But unless you're going into a specialized field like doctor, lawyer, or something like that, I think maybe you should have college. But most college is just nonsense, because they told us for decades that in order to be successful, we need to have a college degree. And in order to get a good job, we need to have a college degree. And it's decimated people of, I'm assuming you're probably about the same age as me, mid-40s. And I mean, it's our generation has totally lost everything, you know, whenever we started outsourcing all of our labor and our manufacturing and everything overseas. And that really started in the 90s under Clinton, and Bush helped with it too. You know, I mean, it was a bipartisan issue, but it completely destroyed.
Who opened up America to China? Reagan.
Reagan did, right? Reagan did some disastrous things to our country. Yeah. The mass amnesty in '86, and then and the reason that caused a lot of problems is because it offset the judicial districts in the states, and it turned California from a red state to a purple state. And then in the '90s, whenever they tried to take away all the benefits from the illegals that had come in after amnesty, then all the Hispanics and everything said, well, no, those are my relatives. And so at that time, they, you know, that's when California turned blue, and California picked up, what is it, like 12 or 14 more congressional seats in the House of Representatives. You know, and I think that major shift in our country caused a lot of problems. See, I wasn't a Trump supporter in 2016. I was a Bernie supporter until the DNC pushed him out. And
That's
then,
an interesting
and then
switch from Bernie to Trump.
Well, I didn't like what they did to Bernie, and then I started seeing all the lies that they were saying and the stuff they were making up about Trump, and I'm like, well, why would they be lying so much about this guy unless there's something about him? And even in 2020, I did vote for Trump, but I was leaning towards Tulsi Gabbard or Andrew Yang. And I you know, I mean, I wasn't completely Yang Gang, because I didn't agree with all the basic universal basic income stuff, but I did end up voting for Trump, and then I proudly voted for him this past election, you know, because it was either him or Kamala, and I thought that was just a simple.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
What do you mean?
Why not choose Kamala?
Well, for one, she was installed. There was no primary. There was no anything for her. Like, she was not chosen by the people. You know, she was installed by the Democratic Party without any vote or whatsoever. And I thought that was a little bit of abuse of the process.
The DNC voted for her.
Right. But the DNC is supposed to do what the people primary and, you know, in each state, right?
Congressional candidates that went to a DNC.
Right, but the primary wasn't possible with the time.
The delegates elected her.
Right,
the representative for the Democratic Party. So she was.
But it was after the process was already completed. You know, it was going to be Trump and Biden, and then they just switched it without actual process and choice by the Democratic voters. Do you feel the Democrats would have chosen somebody else, like a Bernie or an AOC?
So besides her not being her not being in the primary system, do you have any other concerns with her?
I just didn't think she was very smart. She had a degree, and she was in law enforcement.
She has a law degree.
Right.
She went to Brown University,
right. I agree.
Which is one of the most prestigious law universities in the U.S.
Right.
So how is it that someone goes to one of the most prestigious law schools and is not very smart?
Well, I'm not saying that she's not very smart. I'm not saying she's not smart enough. No, it had nothing to do with her being a woman. But her, because like I said, in 2020, I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard. I really like Tulsi Gabbard. So it has absolutely nothing to the fact that she's
here between like Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang, or between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Like, these are wild.
Well, I voted third party in 2016. I voted third party for Gary Johnson. which he was a terrible choice too, you know, but at that time, I didn't really care for Trump. But, you know, it was the constant demonization, and then I seen how people that aligned with me politically would react over Trump supporters, and that really kind of, you know, I just didn't want to be associated with people that would just freak out so bad over one dude. And you know, like, and I felt at the time, I don't feel like either side gets all the information.
No.
At all. You know, I haven't watched Fox News since 2020. You know, I watch mostly just podcasts, and I don't have any social media except for this YouTube here. And but yeah, I mean, I just feel like I think we need to repeal the Smith Month Act. That's part of the NDAA in 2012. That allows American media companies to propagandize Americans. I think that was one of the worst things we ever did. And yeah, I don't know, that's kind of my thoughts. Is there anything else you want to say, or anything you want to add? You're fine? Okay. Well, thank you very much for respect.
I want to say that the billionaires are a parasite on America.
Just the billionaires that support Trump, or the billionaires that support? I agree.
Are a parasite on America.
I think
we need to tax the hell out of them.
Well, I mean, I think they're taxed. They build big companies and hire a lot of people.
In 1950, we taxed billionaires at 92%. Now, realistically, they were probably only taxed 42% with all the discounts they got. But in 1950s, when everyone says America was greatest, we were taxing billionaires a buttload. And we were taxing companies too, up to 35%. Right now, companies get taxed in the 12% range. Mm-hmm. You look at the income of America, we the people, we pay 2/3 of the government's budget. Companies pay 10%. The other 20% is our debt. It used to be 1/3 of each. We would pay 1/3 in our income taxes, we pay 1/3 of our Medicare and Social Security taxes, and companies would pay the other 1/3. Now, billionaires don't have to pay Social Security and Medicare. Companies don't have to pay federal taxes. It's all, and then the government is subsidizing everything.
I got a comment here. It says, his sign says, hate has never made America great. And then he literally says he hates billionaires.
Oh, I don't hate them. I think we need to tax them.
Okay.
I think they're great. I know a couple. I still think we should tax the hell out of them.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
That's good.
Thank you for a great conversation. Can we agree that we were both peaceful and respectful, and people from both sides can have conversations?
We absolutely can.
All right. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure. And thank you. You have a great day. Well, it looks like everybody else has left. But I did have a few good conversations. Okay, they don't want to talk to me. They already talked to me. That guy don't want to talk to me. I think I'm about at a loss here, you guys. No, you're right. It was not the worst conversation. Yeah, he did say he hates them completely. I agree. Up on data things. Yeah, but I just didn't want to say that I had social media to somebody else. I didn't want that. Yeah. Why don't you just go home and take care of your daughter, dude? I'm sure I don't know. Well, my daughter's well taken care of, thank you. I'm headed down there now. I'm 10 miles up the road. Cool. Come to LA, California. You'll be welcome. We denounce Israel live? No. Why don't these people have jobs? Who's funding them? You're right. The last conversations were very civil. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Do one more, bro. There is nobody else that is willing to be interviewed. Everybody else left. There's literally 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 people here, so. Number 88, get alive. So let me go home and make Hey, thanks, TM. I appreciate y'all. And me too. Hey, Sammy. No, yeah. This is definitely not LA. This is definitely not LA. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people out here still. I got more people in here talking to me than I got, you know. Left in Cali can't have a. I know, right? No, she was a Jew. I like the old white lady. She was civil. She was very civil. A lot of rambling. Well, that's just something in mind. Recollected throughout time. Yeah, I do have. I have one of those voices. Hating rich tax to join their successful group for a reason. They can and some can't. Deporting back to Mexico fast. You know what? I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cross the street here real quick, and I'm gonna go have a cigarette over here at the boardwalk. I'm gonna go sit down at the picnic table. I just need to have a cigarette. Ice, ice, baby. Yeah, that's what my sign said last week. So there's more homeless people walking around out here than there are protesters. Hello, everybody. And come over here, sit down, have a cigarette. Yeah, yep. I'll go sit at this table here with my little tripod. Yeah, are you? Yeah, it's a nice city. It's a nice city. I don't live in town. I live way out of town, but right, they see me with my nose ring and stuff, they think I'm on their side, yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that I smoke weed and and smoking weed is, you know, like a hugely Democrat, like they're the ones that proposed it. Free Israel. Yeah, you know what? And that's the thing. I was trying to be very, very, very respectful. You know, and trying to have a good conversation with people. I really was. And there, you know, I didn't really get to talk much with a few of them. Like that lady, she just kept fucking rambling, wouldn't let me say anything. And then anytime I tried to, it made me look like an ass for interrupting her. Get rid of the nose ring? Yeah. You know what's even funnier is my wife has blue hair. Dude, the two of us walking around together look very confusing. Go home already, not far enough. Yeah, well, you know what, my kid's at home. She's very well taken care of. My wife's at home with her. I mean, yeah, I can wear a nose ring. I've had this thing for almost 30 years anyway. It doesn't feel like you want a conversation when you walk up and stick a camera in someone's face. You're just looking for a spectacle. No, actually, I was looking for a conversation, and I asked them if they wanted to have a discussion. They're like a fishing hook, because it's like shooting fish in a barrel. How easy it's to throw them without questioning anything. Well, I mean, all you gotta do most of the time is just let them fucking talk, and they'll show their hypocrisy. Why stream it? Well, because I thought people would want to see it, and I mean, there's 123 people in here that did want to see it, and I got 65 likes on it. So I mean, it's pretty fair to assume that people would want to see it, and that's why I wanted to. You know, I wasn't doing it to be like facetious or anything. You want to see the protest? Yeah, it's not much of a protest anymore, Sammy. We got 2 people there. We got 3 people on that corner, and that is all that's left. There are 5 people left, and that's it. Right. For my own ego? No, I... Ends at 2 p.m. They're wrapping up. Yeah, what time is it? Oh, yeah, it is 2 o'clock. Well, I appreciate it, Sheila, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It ended at 2 o'clock. That's right. That makes sense. I didn't know it was 2 o'clock already. You were here? I was too attacked last weekend. I was pushed, and it's on video. That can't even be a fact. Yeah, no. You were here last weekend? Okay, well, I mean, what? How can you say I wasn't confronted or attacked? That's just a ridiculous statement, right? I was attacked by a lady in a red jacket, and it's on film. She pushed me, and I turned it into the cops. Regardless of what side you're on, we should all engage in civil. I agree, Annie, and you know what? And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come down here and engage in civil conversations. You know, and have a conversation. Right, exactly. It had nothing to do with, here, let me turn this around in my face. Yeah, it had nothing to do with me confronting people or being rude. I was very respectful to everybody. I can go home and work my farm. Christina, man, you're pretty, you got some negative energy here, man. It just seems a little confrontational, like you're a liar, a big liar. How am I a liar? Tell me how I'm a liar. She wants to fight. Yeah. You stood behind me for quite a while? Okay. So what? Were you one of those weirdos in the denim jackets? Denim studded jackets? Oh, that your mom's made for you? You want to pan across? Sammy, Christina. Sam, you want to get rid of Christina? She's just fucking annoying me. Christina can go bye-bye, Sam, if you want to get rid of her. Here is Coos Bay. Thank you, Sammy. Here's the restaurant, the floating restaurant down here. There's the sailboats over there. We can, we'll go over here. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, she was probably one of those fucking... Wait, you calling me a meth head? I'm a former meth head. I got 18 years sober, thank you. Here is, like, they got this little area. This is like a map of Coos Bay on the floor made out of wood. I live, like, way... There's a fork missing on the river. I live, like, way over here. We got the Coast Guard boats there. Yeah, humble pie. It's cool. I'll bring to support a Trump. Yeah, and then each one of these posts are like different trees that grow in this area. Like each one of those are a different type of wood. And then we got out here. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I was an IV addict for a long time. We got the Coos number 2 here. I'm just, the protest is over, so I'm just kind of showing you guys the boardwalk now. The Coos number 2. It's this boat here. And over on this side, you can see inside. Time to go fishing. Dude, Sammy, you can come to my house. I got a river right in my front yard. In here, you can see the engine in there. No, they're definitely not. Yep, this is Coos Bay. It's a cloudy day today, but yeah. But yeah, I think protest is over, so I think I'm gonna walk back to my car. I check the bank accounts, and I might go have another beer real quick before I head home. Yeah, but yeah, this was fun. This was really fun. Thank you guys all for having these conversations. I couldn't keep up with the chat. There was so much. Yeah, I live right on the river. I live right on a salmon and steelhead trout river. Steelhead are like rainbow trout that live in the ocean part-time. Right, and I mean, if we just redid the census if we redid the census so that it was only Americans counted, I mean, California would lose like 14 congressional seats, you know, and the whole country would be Republican. Right? Same with New York. Yep. But yeah, this was fun. I had a lot of good conversations. Thank you all for coming and talking to me. I'm gonna enjoy my beer. I'll be tuning in again. Good job. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Oh, I got 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My pants are falling down. Later on, Stocks. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching, and peace out, Girl Scouts.